how did this process go? Writing process, and then later on a shooting process for you for this film?
I had the idea to make the film when I was organizing my own marriage, actually. And as you may know, even in Morocco, marriage is something very important in my culture. Because it means success for the parents who are able to marry their child, and it means also a passage from like childhood to adulthood for the people who marry. So I was just there, and I had the idea of making a film about depression I felt like during maybe 10 years, my parents asking me to marry, and I was like, no, no, no. And this pressure, actually, you have the pressure of the parents on the child to marry, but you also have the pressure of the society on the parents to get their child married. So that was something I was familiar with. That was something that was something important for me. And when I decided to marry, I was like, okay, let's make a film about it because it's funny.
Yeah, well, in the film we didn't get that much that sense of parental pressure.
It's however, in the mind.
But however, we got well. I can give you my impression that the pressure that I felt is more of and you named it Conqueror. You know, it's a conqueror's pressure that maybe men. And this is a question, or maybe I don't know. Maybe don't you think that in our societies, you know, Islamic societies, where we still have men as very strong approach to manhood, being it's you know, people can call it macho, you know, being macho. So the man would in a sense see the woman as a conquest, you know, military conquest, you know. So it's almost this territory, I need to take it using my you know, my power, because I am a conqueror. And for your obviously for your character, it's also maybe a way to fight his natural shyness, maybe, or I don't know. But you tell me how you saw this, because
yeah, my character is a bit shy, and he's like 21 years old, but he looks like someone who is 40 because he's dressed like someone not young. About the conquest, yes, we have this conquest thing, like the you have to conquest the woman's heart, and that's all about Fatih the Conqueror, the real one. He used to have a harem, so like many ladies in it, and he's the one who is the image of what a man should be. And my character's name is Fatih, and actually he imagines maybe himself being this conqueror. And what's funny about it is that once he gets there, the territory, but he thinks it's a Turkish territory. He thinks that the lady he likes, she's Turkish, but when she says no, actually she's not that Turkish. She's French, because she wants to seize life. I mean, she wants to have fun. She wants to discover. So she's French, and it's all about identity. In our identities, like Islamic culture, you know it. Man has to be a man, and the woman has to be a woman, and that's something that I make fun of a lot of time in my own life. So yeah, it was also, my culture was obviously an inspiration in this film.
Yeah. Because you are, as a matter of fact, talking about Turkish people who now live in a different environment, and therefore take into account that you know, this environment gives them as you know, side effect, I suppose.
What's funny is that Turkish people, I make a film about Turkish people living in France. But what's funny about Turkish people is that they live in France as if they were living in Turkey. So they don't mix with other people. They marry, you know, Turkish people marry to Turkish people. And it's like you have like the family is when I enter my home in in France, it's Turkey. It's not anymore France. Outside it's France, inside it's Turkey, and inside the car it's like, you know, with his mate like Murat.
Uh,
It's like somewhere in between. They don't know where they are. In the mind, they are Fatih. In his mind, he's very Turkish, and
yeah,
it's the Turkey of the 80s. Like it's 50 years ago Turkey. It's not like today's Turkey.
yeah,
He's very conservative, but outside it's France. And when he's on the horse, like you have the place of the marriage, which represents Turkey, and just behind there's a church which represents France, and he's in between. He's in between, just like, yeah, it's a no man's land in his,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and and as a matter of fact, we feel it very much that he's kind of lost between two words, and even this imaginary word that he creates in his mind is just another way also of escaping this dilemma that.
It's another way of not escaping, actually, because even when he's dreaming something about something Turkish. He cannot dream outside of Turkey.
Yeah,
When he dreams about Fatih the Conqueror, it's still Turkey. He cannot
yeah,
escape his identity, the identity his parents created for him. Like
yeah,
we are in France, but we are Turkish.
yeah,
And that was also my identity, but it took me like 30 years to understand that I was also French.
yeah. But
And I want
something very interesting also, the fact that Turkish people living in France may be more conservatives than Turkish people living in Turkey,
absolutely.
because those change, and there is evolution in their in society and culture and everything. While in France, the Turkish identity, to preserve it, is constructed as a conservative, like almost as a wall. You know, we need to build a wall so that they don't invade us in our home, and
Yes,
therefore they become even more conservative than Turks. We should be.
absolutely.
So that's very interesting to this idea, and to
This is a huge contradiction.
yeah,
I was born in France to Turkish parents who left Turkey in 1980, and they brought me to be an adult with the society in Turkey in the 80s. It's stupid. This is just, yeah, this was a
yeah,
nightmare because in your head you have to think like someone in the past. You
yeah.
have ideas that
Well,
doesn't they don't belong to now.
because and this is also maybe another theme interesting to explore, because time has stopped the day
Yes,
they came to France. For them,
yes.
time has stopped. You know, they did not.
And they believe, like my parents used to believe that uh, they will someday they will return. We will all return to Turkey. But even if we return, Turkish people in Turkey, they yeah they became something else. They are more modern than we are. We are really very conservative. I remember when I was 18 years old, the first day I came to Istanbul, it was my first time in Istanbul, and I saw like young people having fun. They were really having fun. Like some of them were flirting, some of them were having a drink, and I was like, wow, it's unimaginable. for me to do that with a Turkish girl in France. It's impossible.
Yeah. Interesting. Now, how does this, why did you choose to tell this story as a comedy? How does it relate to your approach, cinematic approach, or but also your approach as a director, you know, in terms of expressing ideas through comedy?
Actually, this film is my third short film, and the first two they were like dramatic films. But my producer, I have the same producer. We made all the films together, like for 12 years. He always tell me like, all the stories you tell me are funny. You have to make a comedy. You have to make a comedy. You have to make a comedy. And I was like, no, I don't make a comedy, because in people's mind, comedy is easy. You have to make a drama and to get, you know, like very serious things. And after a while, I told myself, yeah, I have funny stories in my mind and I can make them. I don't have to feel pressure to make like a very serious film. But this subject, for me, it's a really serious subject. And what's good with comedy is that you can explore it actually deeper, because you can make, when you can make fun with something, then it means that you are deep enough in the subject. If you cannot make fun of it, if you cannot make it's like, you know, death is something very serious, but when you make a comedy about it, suddenly it becomes like wow. And I wanted this to become like wow. And
Yeah.
I always wanted to make people, you know, laugh in a cinema. When I
Uh-huh.
go to watch a comedy and I see people laugh, I'm like, wow, this is wonderful. The director, he's making all these people laugh. And I wanted to make it like, I
Yeah.
don't know if I succeeded, but if people laugh, I'm happy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was born in a Turkish family, and we used to have Turkish TV at home when I was a kid. And every night we were watching like Turkish comedy films.
Okay.
And comedy has a real place actually in my life. My father, when he came to France, actually the reasons why he came to France are very tragic. But when he tells the story of how he came to France, he tells it like it's a comedy. Comedy is really something we have. I mean, I have in my genes, so I had to make it.
Yeah, well, that was very well done, by the way, and congratulate you, because comedy is hard, as you say. Comedy is probably
It's
harder
very hard.
to write than drama,
Yeah.
but and it takes courage to because you kind of expose yourself, trying to make people laugh. You know,
Yes.
it's
If you
telling,
don't succeed, it's like wow. It's
like telling
well.
a joke where nobody is laughing. I mean,
Yes.
you feel awful after that.
Yes.
so,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I congratulate you for that. But we are also in our festival. We believe that comedy also needs to find more space in the world of cinema as a form of very serious form of expression of cinema expression, because it's we make people laugh, but it's also a serious business to
Yeah.
make people laugh, and to succeed in making people laugh, and obviously at the same time take with them a message that is worthwhile their time, worthwhile watching, and following a storyteller with what he proposes to them. What are what has been your career so far? You told me you already made three short films.
Yes.
Are you a professional of the cinema, or do you do films along with other things? Or
I just make films. I just write films. This was a choice like I made 12 years ago when I left university at the end. Um, I could have done something else to get maybe money, more money, because obviously when you make short films, you don't earn that much money.
yeah,
It's really difficult to survive.
Yeah.
But it was a choice, and now I'm like working on my first feature film. So okay, maybe in 2 years or 3 years time, I will be. It will come back. Like the choice I made will come back. Like in the yeah. Well, let's not talk about it.
Yeah.
I made two short films. Like the first one was 10 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It was quite successful in Turkey, and then it took me like 4 years to make another one because I'm someone very slow. I
Yeah.
have to
Take
be
your time.
sure. Uh, people. Some people are free control, but I think I'm a bit free control. I have to control everything to every step I make. So I made. It took me 4 years to make another one, and it took me like 5 years to make this one.
Uh-huh.
And I hope it won't take me like 5 years to make a feature film.
Make a feature. Is it going to be a comedy or?
It will be a comedy. It will be about the two characters you see in this film,
Uh-huh.
Fatih and Murat, because we have no films in France about Turkish people, no feature film about Turkish people, zero.
Uh-huh.
And I hope to make the first one.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
I think I have to tell the stories of people who are like me. And we are at least 1 million people living in France. 1 million people and no film, zero. So someone has to end this. And
I
I want to be the guy who will end this with a comedy. And yeah.
Yeah, well, I we see this happen also with the Moroccan community living in Europe. Moroccans also are very many of them live in Europe, in France, and in Holland, in Belgium, and they're starting now to have directors, Moroccan directors, who have also tackled this problem, right? Making a film about how the Moroccan community lives in, for example, in Holland. Last year we had a film called Yasmina's Wedding, which is also a wedding story, and how Moroccans like to make these big weddings, just like home, and with in the community, so that it's also very much close to what you were saying. And by the way, it's nice that you are saying that you're working with the two characters you already created in this short. But to me, the story you told is this short could also be the start of a feature.
Yeah.
Because he's been rejected by the woman, but maybe he really then would want to conquer her really, but having to change though. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a conquest that will be free. It's not conquering the territory. It's conquering his own identity, so that he can really meet this girl who is now European French, but she's probably also Turkish in certain ways. So interesting to maybe think about it in this manner. But you got the start. He's been rejected, even thrown out, like trash out of the party. So it's a nice start to find his way.
It's like a beginning of a move of a feature film. Like I agree, yes.
But anyway, I hope that you will succeed in your feature film, and we are very happy, as I told you, to have you in this festival, and I wish you all the luck in our festival, and I wish you all the luck in your endeavors and your future projects, and hopefully once you make a new comedy, whether it's short or feature, you will think about Rabat-Comedy to because we will probably be able to still work together in the future, and maybe we can stop here if you
I would like to thank you for selecting it, and it's just marvelous to know that you make a film and that people somewhere on this planet, they will watch it and maybe laugh. So I would like to thank you very much for selecting.
Well, you must welcome. It was worth it, and your work was really worth it. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.